Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa, and welcome to Couch Convos. What are we talking about today, Rosa?
We're gonna be talking about feelings. You didn't even. I want to introduce myself.
Then go ahead, tell the people
And
who you are.
I'm Rosa, and we are talking about feelings.
Wow.
So what about feelings? Why did you choose this conversation?
Because I feel like we're both very vulnerable people, but we have a fear of vulnerability sometimes.
So hence why we're gonna talk about this in front of a camera. That's so crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, you have to let it out sometimes.
Okay, go ahead.
What scares you about being vulnerable?
Wow.
As a Christian.
Wow. That's a great conversation. First of all, what does vulnerability even mean?
What does it mean to you?
This is our conversation.
Oh.
This isn't.
What is it? Okay, go ahead.
Maybe if you start it, then I will piggyback on it.
Okay, I feel like vulnerability is scary.
Okay.
I think it depends. Obviously, like who it is I'm talking to and everything. I think the more time you spend with people, obviously, the more you open up.
Yeah.
But I think vulnerability, like holding back, also comes from trauma.
Yes. I agree with that.
And I think as a Christian, and also like just knowing how like women are in the Bible and everything like that, I feel like it's almost like we should be vulnerable. But then I feel like, I don't know, there's just like that fear aspect in the back of my mind because also we are human and women in society.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it's more like how I've been brought up. Like vulnerability wasn't a thing to praise. It was a thing to be like, why are you doing that? We have things to do, kind of.
Yeah.
Or there's bigger issues, or like big girls don't cry. So I was told to not cry and stuff like that.
Was it almost like a weakness to be vulnerable for you?
Yeah. Yeah. But then I think, yeah. Or it was just not like necessary, it felt like. So why do something if it's not necessary?
That's really interesting.
But then I think also like going back to like when you comfortability, because if you've been vulnerable before and the way somebody responds to it can be very painful.
Yeah. And then like it could hold you back and then cause trauma to actually open up afterwards.
Exactly.
I think for me also like just like growing up, for me, I think I was taught to like, it's okay to share your feelings. It's okay to like cry and everything.
Oh, wow. That's so
But I think as I grew up and actually having experiences, like as a Christian and like being saved and everything and trying to like share how I felt, it was almost like it was like a shameful thing. Because I think also when we were at school, like we learned about like not to have shame, like part of a talk that we did. And I think the one thing that is hard for me is to actually like, obviously I'm Christian, but owning up to that vulnerability of being a Christian and actually being a Christian and really like being very open with that and being like, yeah, I'm so, because I see people
yes, it is a vulnerable topic. Like your faith is kind of vulnerable, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you just don't know because we're very much heavily judged like everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Even with other religions and people who are not Christians as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what do you think we could do to like break down that barrier of having fear though?
I think, well, we're at scripture camp. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of things that come to mind now is because we're reading the Book of Mark, where it's like fear over, like how fear versus faith and how God calls us to have. Jesus was really calling us to not be afraid and to take heart and to know that, like, I don't know, like to just keep our eyes fixed on Jesus. So sometimes when I think about vulnerability and things like that, I can really, the verse that comes to mind is like that Jesus wept. Like when Lazarus died, he took the time to weep, even though he knows he could raise him. And it just kind of makes you think like, why would he take that second to cry, to mourn with the sisters, right? Because there's an importance to that. He was trying to teach us something in that. So I mean like if we serve God and we believe he's a good God, right? And he took that time to weep and so that like vulnerability is important, then sometimes it's, for me, it feels like a call to also like be vulnerable. I don't know.
Application.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Wow.
What about you?
Jeez. I don't know. I think it's funny because like I never I never usually think about it.
But then why'd you pick this topic, girl? Like,
because it's good.
That was crazy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you up for that one.
I love my friends. No, I actually never really think about it because I am already like an emotional person, so I feel like sometimes I twist that as being vulnerable.
But it is, yeah.
But it isn't actually being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because I think I have a tendency to do like the whole closed off things. Like I'll give you a sprinkle and then that's it, and then I'll like push back. Like how you were saying, I feel like I agree with that, and I think the only way I can like really do, honestly, I have to pray for my own vulnerability because it is hard, especially like growing up and like being in my 20s and stuff like that. Sometimes I think it's very easy to not show like, oh yes, I cry, and like yes, I get emotional. Like some issues that you do have growing like in your 20s, there are like adult things, and when you're frustrated, it's almost like you can't show that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just honestly like a prayer situation
Mm-hmm.
for me. That has to happen.
Yeah. No, that's really real. I think like that's actually really true because sometimes I think about like when I first became saved to now, and I think we had this conversation because we're also in the same growth group, right? So like I think the last thing I said was like talking about how I feel like God has really brought me from a different spot this year, like where I'm showing more emotion or I'm being more like expressing it with the things that I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even realize I'm doing that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I think that was also a struggle because I was becoming more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like as I've been growing in my faith. So it's almost like it's like a sanctification process. Like God is gonna do it in me. Mm-hmm. And yeah. So that was a kind of a hard thing to navigate at first. But yeah.
Do you feel like you're accepting of your vulnerability, like slowly though?
Yes, very slow. Very slow. Like right now I want to run away. and like stop all of this.
But I feel like it's like a step closer to you, like kind of so like every day. Like it's just a
Yes.
But I feel like you're really good at accepting people being vulnerable around you though.
Yes, because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like when I see people being vulnerable, like even like when I was talking about how Jesus was, like I respected that. Like I can respect vulnerability in others but not in myself. Do you feel that? Do you feel that way?
Yeah. I feel that heavily.
Because that's the type of person you are. Like you will ask questions that like even this right now. Like you like the topic, right?
Yeah.
You see that there's beauty in it, but why is it so hard to see it in ourselves?
I feel like because we don't see ourselves the way other people see us, right? Because I think the first time I ever met you, we were probably like, obviously.
Just tell the story. Just I'll allow it.
Hi. No, because I think the very first time I met you, like realistically speaking, I felt like there was like a, like, you know, like almost like a mask. And then the more I got to know you, I was like, oh, like she told me she's like from Africa. And like we had like similarities that were from like different places in Africa. And I was able to kind of relate to different things. And like you having siblings and like your situations that you've had. But then at the same time, I think when I look back at like Rosa in September, I'm like, yo, this is not the same person as now. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like a good thing to watch you grow as well. But I think for me, I have a hard time with that only because like I have studied to like accept other people's vulnerability, but also like not to feel too much empathy because on a professional level I can't. Yeah.
Why? Like why do you think it's that's a other thing. So we said like in ourselves it feels uncomfortable. And then how we grew up also. Like it's shunned, but then what you just said, like professional. Yeah. That's like now that's societal. So you right?
Yeah.
So like why do you think you can't show as much empathy in a professional setting? Like why isn't that professional?
I think because you're taught for a long time, like in a professional setting, not to do it. Like it's like, oh, okay, like you can listen to somebody tell you this and this and this, but you can't bring. It's almost like how they say you can't bring work home with you. Like you can't be like, oh man, like that was a really hard story I heard, and like sit in it, or even like hug. You can't like show comfort or anything. You just have to nod your head and be like, yeah. Your responses are very like masked. So I think sometimes I think with my friends it's a little different because I know you guys versus if it's just somebody like coming in and being like, hey, I need therapy. And then they just tell me what's going on and I have to kind of just listen to that and be like, okay, here's what we can do. Here's steps. But instead with like friends, I think you're like helping them figure it out along the way and being there for them.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I feel like those two lines can also get crossed like pretty easily as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know what else to say. Why are you just smiling like that?
No, that was really good.
What do we think we learned?
Vulnerability is okay. And I think it's okay to be protective over it.
Yeah.
But we are God's children. So I feel like also to be able to have vulnerability and like be okay with that is to trust in him more.
Yeah. Do you feel like leaving this conversation you're gonna be able to be more vulnerable? Do you feel like this has changed like kind of your approach to vulnerability now? Or like this conversation right now?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's actually okay.
Why do you sound shocked?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just asking.
Yeah, I do think it has, because I think weirdly enough, like I do learn a lot from you. So I feel like as
like, okay.
No, I do learn a lot from you. So I feel like when people actually notice things, and like you also are an analyzer. So I think I do the thing where I'm like, okay, like they see what I'm doing and they understand it. So I'm like, okay, this is what I kind of, it's almost like a growth thing rather than a change thing.
Yes.
And it'll happen with progression, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think like my approach would be different. But also I do believe everyone is different. So how I approach people with vulnerability, it's just going to be like whoever it is,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And how they feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's so good. That's actually really good. Yeah, because we're still called to guard our heart. Yeah. That's really cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, bye.
Bye.